Bob, anything?
How'd the Frank strain that deal go out?
Oh, that is going good. We dug it up, unplugged it, and you'd be surprised.
Was it just plain plugged in?
Gatorade and water bottles, pop cans, etc.
Down the storm sewer?
Styrofoam plates, and then them styrofoam carry-out things from, well, any restaurant or villager or, you know, people throwing them out.
Goes down the storm sewer and then down to the gotchas. Put down the storm sewer intakes and went down and caught in that pipeline.
And then in Frank's yard where those boils or whatever you call it, they were what I suspected, the blockage, and it was the easy place for the water to come out. And you know fully well, like when you have a field towel and you butt them together, instead of changing direction in a manhole like you do now, they just pinch them. They're tight on one side. They had inch and a half gaps on the other, to where they can sweep around, and you know, it's just a place for the water to get out. We dug them up, rebatted them, or batted them rather, put some cement on them, and the tile were in good shape. Frank seen them. I went and got him, and we looked at them. And we got another, that little hole, I don't know how big it is, but it's outside of the one call I'd done that's, I don't know, that's right underneath that pin oak tree. A lot of tree roots in there. If that's to be dug up, it may kill the tree. Maybe not this fall or maybe next summer. Because the pin oak, it wouldn't take a whole lot of root damage. Doc, you're probably a little more familiar than me. But I know that, you know, you disturb the roots on a pin oak, and so they may grow for a while, they may grow for 2 years, and then they'll just die. And
Well, that's hard to get them out of the roots. If one little leak in that line, and they'll go right back into it.
oh yeah,
Might be best just to take it out.
And you know, and it may not bother that tree. It may be just fine. You can take a bur oak and dig half the tree roots away, and it'll survive and grow and keep on living. But pin oaks are a little touchy.
Where is there some place where we're missing a grate, or that the opening is bigger, or there's not something covering the opening where that stormwater comes in, that all that stuff can get through?
No, it comes in your intakes on your grates. Usually on the curb side, there's 3 and 4 inch opening on the. That's actually would be part of the curb. They could just go in there. Now these styrofoam plates, some of them weren't full place. They were broke, scuffled, smashed a little bit. You know.
Will have anything to do with having the kids up there as well?
No, it actually connects up with this line, but farther down into the golf course area.
You know, would there be, like in I've got a couple of intakes one right next to my house, and whenever I can, I always try and, you know, clean the area up around it, plus up and down the curbing for, you know, several hundred feet, just to minimize that. Any possibility of, let's say, having an education thing with the city, or just say, you know, homeowners, if you see debris collecting around your thing or upstream, just to remove it and help us keep those things clean, because it's beyond our, you know, the city's capability, I think, to keep all those clean all the time. So if we had a good article in the paper, and don't be a litter bug. Yeah. And if it is there to you know, pick it up, and you know, a lot of it might be just having them know that there is a problem. You know, so kind of a twofold thing, I think, like you say, keep the litter to a minimum, but we know that that's not going to go away. But once it does happen, if we could educate the public to that effect of cleaning up.
Find any golf balls?
Is the newsletter out already?
No, no, we didn't. So anyway, we've got one more hole to dig there yet before we're done. And we'll put it back, and put it in there, and seed it this fall yet. I'm very unlikely that it'll come up, but it'll be there for spring.
Is this gonna be an answer to that big sinkhole there
I hope so.
Hope so.
by his
Should.
house?
See, and then part of this process, and then over in her area, we flush hydrants, because that water comes from further over on Oak Street. Not the intake down by her house, that goes by the country club south, but the ones back in, whether that be Oak Hill Drive or Oak Drive, or whatever it is back there, Volker's Corner, Oak and,
Dish filler?
yeah, that, it all comes. Anyway, we flushed 3 hydrants in that area to help the water situation mainly, and then the water to go down all of that tile, because clear from the east, that comes across 9th Street, on down, hooks in there in the dip, and comes down past Dock and down through there.
You try to
And then
flush
we
it
had,
out.
from the garden thing out here, we had their water tank and our sewer truck, and we went over there by Leonard Boyson's and dumped 2,000 gallons of water in there while we had the fire hydrants going. Everything seems to be working fine. I think the problem is the blockage is gone. We need to
Don't
put it
block it,
back,
yeah.
investigate that other hole. Frank's got one more boil, and he said we could dig it up if we want. If we didn't want, he didn't think it'd be a problem. So I think maybe we just as well make another mess and do it too. Then they're all investigated, and everything seems to be fine now.
Yeah, and I might just add a little bit more to it, to what Bob's already said. I looked at the pieces of pipe that were taken out of the, the big sinkhole there by Shays, and it is unreinforced, well casing. It's not designed for, water, and this was done way back in the 60s, which is before any of us were addressing this. So the underlying problem is an existing situation that we're trying to deal with, and here again, the total fix would be so expensive, and I won't say it's precluded, but and I noticed that the pieces that were there did break up real easily, and I got down in the hole, and you can see that it's having an effect. The pipe is not round, it is compressed somewhat, so it is oval, with a long ways parallel with the street. And just, I would assume, and I'm assuming this, that it's just from the weight compression that it has actually brought the pipe down.
It isn't meant for that depth
It's not meant for that amount of weight, and so we're dealing with little cracks within, between the pipe, but also the compression and the improper piping that's there. So it's not an ideal situation. We're addressing fixes kind of as we go, but it goes all the way up.
It'll be a similar situation that we done on North 19, ended up clear up into the trailer court, come around through Ingalls and run a line south there, down towards the school. That was a major expense, but it alleviated the problem. But the problem been there for 20, 30, 40 years before that. As time takes its course, money's available, whatever, then things of that nature get fixed. And this is going to be a very similar situation.
You think it'll be a fairly long-term fix
I
for
sure hope
this?
so.
Okay.
I sure hope so.
Any other discussion?
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Call for a vote.
Councilman Hanson,
Yes.
Rennie,
Yes.
Frederick,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you.